Hello and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. You are watching Daily Dive. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis, live in Guyton, Georgia. It is Monday, May 19th, 2025, and dare I say, the season continues. Is going to be a thing. So we are live on 12 on Sports via YouTube and X/Twitter. Be sure to subscribe to the 12 on Sports YouTube channel for other great shows and live sports. On today's awesome show, we'll get into Game 3, how we got to this point. I'll break down each Game 1 from Friday in Buffalo all the way to Game 2 yesterday in Saskatchewan, what we learned, etc. How will the Georgia Swarm make not just the playoffs next year, but a playoff push? Is it possible? What are the chances for the Georgia Swarm next year? And overrated, Scott Loffer's tweets and some banter in the comments has me wondering how we got here, and is there any merit to Dhane Smith being overrated? Just bear with me on that topic, okay? We want to first let you know this show is presented by the ticketing platform at 12onsports.com. Head over to 12ozsports.com and click the tickets tab. When you are there, you'll search for your favorite sports team. Doesn't have to be from the NLL, or your favorite music artist concert. You'll find so much tickets that are priced way less than the big guys. It helps us while we're helping you. Trust me, no hoops to jump through. Just 12onsports.com/tickets or click the tickets tab at 12ozsports.com. Alrighty, the first thing we're going to get into is there's going to be a Game 3. I want to let you know the leading news for the day is that the finals is tied 1-1 after both teams won at home. The league also announced a new cap/headgear/hats partner. The partner is called The Game. I will be right back as I'm checking to see if they are copyright issues there with the rapper. But regardless of that fact, that was announced yesterday. Now let's get into the actual games. So, going into Friday's game, we, like myself and obviously Pat Gregoire, came on this show, okay? And we talked about the betting angles and like how like Game 1 might go. How did it go? Well, quite frankly, it was not the way you expected, and then it turned out to be exactly what we expected. I had said earlier in the week that it felt like a race to 11 or 12. Teddy Jenner then commented during the show while he was in the other room and I had snubbed him from the guest appearance. He commented it's a race to 11. In this game, we got to this score very quickly. In fact, like I said, the final score was 12-10. And there was a total, I want to make sure I get this correct. There was one goal in the fourth quarter. It was by Buffalo. And it was on one of the most bizarre goals you'll ever see. The Bandits were simply trying to clear it. I don't know. I doubt that Dhane Smith was trying to shoot an empty net. But what happened was he threw it down the floor to try to, play keep away with literally 12 seconds left. It bounces off of Kyle Buchanan into the net. That is the one goal that we had in the fourth quarter. So that was bonkers. But in this game, the Saskatchewan Rush jumped out to a 2-0 and then a 4-2 lead. The Rush then led again 8-6. But one player stood out, which is actually a player we're going to talk about in the last segment. It's Dhane Smith. Dhane Smith was kind of quiet, once again doing his inner impression of I can't score goals anymore, I just drop assists, until he had two of the nastiest moves you'll see from a star player. Dhane Smith, mid-third quarter, beats his man. I believe he beat Mike Messenger on the play and scores. Then, about 2.5 minutes later, Dhane Smith beats his man again, scores the goal. And those 2 goals, one of them brought the Rush within 1. The other one also did so. And then in the third quarter again, 2 minutes after that, Dhane Smith gave the Rush the 11-10 lead. And we're thinking, oh God, this even under 23 and a half. Remember the hook that me and Pat talked about on Friday that you could get on Coolbet? Even that was in shambles. But we were okay. Because Matt Vince and the crew locked it down. The block shot kings made it happen. Rush blocked 5 shots in game 1. The Bandits blocked 12. Face-offs went in favor of Jake Naso as I thought they would, which is why I was so surprised. Buffalo scored the final 4 goals. That was nuts. But again, if there's no score in the fourth quarter until whatever the crap that was at the end of the game, that was a bit interesting. Now, I do like the way the refs, full disclosure, have managed both games. I saw like a few people trying to sell some calls. I feel like it's been pretty even through 2 games. People got kind of mad when Josh Byrne rode his stick up. I know Pat Gregoire in the broadcasting game 2 and we're going to get to game 2. I know Pat Gregoire was like, oh, it's playoff lacrosse. To me, it's like if a guy's running to his side, you kind of go right. Your stick is on the up. It's not like you hit him in the shoulder, but it's like you're going up the stairs. That, to me, should be a penalty, and it was. There was 10 minutes left in the game. There was far more lacrosse to be played, as we'll get to. But I feel like if that's one of the most controversial calls that I've seen on Twitter, I think we're doing pretty well. And yeah, Kyle the goalie, that's what I'm saying. Like, he said, imagine a game where faceoffs matter. To me, again, they matter in moments, but the Rush had played this game perfectly. They led the game 9-7, okay? They looked fantastic. They led it by 2 goals most of the time. And then the Bandits the Bandits stayed in the game, and that was what was crazy. It didn't make sense because the Bandits did not go on a big run. They went on a 3-goal run in the second quarter of game 1, and then the third quarter, that final odd fourth quarter goal, that was a 4-0 run. That's the game right there. The Rush lead the game 4-2. Bandits score 3 straight. The Rush lead the game 9-7 or 10-8, excuse me. The Bandits score the last 4. That's the runs we got in game 1. So I feel like if there was actually more goals in the fourth quarter of game 1, the Rush might have been champions by now, because I do think Jake Naso would have made the difference. But again, we ain't scoring the fourth quarter, face-offs out the window. In that game, there was also 16,761 people. It's only Friday. Buffalo fans, respectfully, I'm going to tell you now, you're sounding really, really, really unintelligent right now. I cannot explain to you how ignorant that sounds. Well, on Friday, historically speaking, you're on the verge of a 3-peat. This could have been your final game at home, and literally, what is it? 1,300 less than the regular season average. That is wrong, and you know it. You're not showing up. It's not your fault. Blame the idiots who are hiking the prices. They are doubling the prices of these games, okay? I know, random tangent here, but Buffalo fans, you're apologizing to no one. You're making it worse on yourselves. That's okay. Historically speaking on Friday, I don't care what Scott Loeffler said. He might be involved in making I don't know if he's involved. I'm saying the people who are pricing the tickets should be in jeopardy of losing their jobs. Stop apologizing for the people that don't care about you except for your money. It's okay. So again, 16,761 people is not good. It's not good. That's the league is posting pictures of Banditland, and Banditland was like 2,500 from capacity. Last year, they were at capacity. What happened? Idiots got greedy, okay? Buffalo fans, I'm begging you, stop apologizing for crap where people don't care about you. The team likes you. The people in the front office don't care that you exist. They'll recycle you. Stop apologizing for idiots. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry to sound bad. I'm just trying to help Buffalo fans see. Stop sounding unintelligent. That was the potential, thank God for your sake, the last game of the season for you, and 2,500 people were far from capacity. I know. 16,000 is higher than everyone else. That's fine. But there could have been more, and the team said, screw you, and gave you a middle finger. How is that okay to you? I don't know if these people are thinking. Like, the same people who mouthed off about Buffalo Bills as if they won anything, the same people who apologize, and that's what, it bugs me, okay? It very much bugs me. Now, good Lord. Side tangent over for today's show, by the way. Until the ending, obviously. Because someone thinks that, someone anonymously thinks that that Dhane Smith is overrated, but again, we'll get to that in the last segment. Finally, we're going to do this. Saskatchewan Rush Game 2, again, jumped out to a lead, and that was another surprising thing. Rush led this game 3-0. Bandits have not been down 3 goals in a long time. Kyle Buchanan's goal at the end of this game, too, made it cute. Again, the penalty on Josh Byrne with at the 4:14 mark of the fourth quarter, meaning 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. After that moment, 4 more goals happened. Now, one of them was on the power play. The Rush did tie the game off that penalty. That being said, the rest of the game was up to the Bandits, and they lost. So we're not going to do the whole, well, referees. Listen, guys, when your team loses, it's okay to admit that your team lost, fair and square. There has been nothing dirty in this series. It's been a very competitive series. And I said it before. I thought the Bandits were going to win this championship. The reason I went over 2.5 games, the more I thought about it, Saskatchewan Rush is built to beat you, point blank, period. If Frank Scigliano can keep on making Cinderella saves or Superman saves, the Rush are going to beat you in Game 3. Now, Austin Shank said it as much, but I'm going to say this now, folks, because Game 2 went like Game 1 did. Rush jumped out to an early lead. The only difference is they scored in the fourth quarter this time. And again, if I'm Buffalo, I've told you guys all season long, this team's roster is stacked to heaven. But, guys, the combination of shots on goal being limited, the combination of the transition, not just transition, but success in transition, and Jake Naso limiting what Connor Farrell could do, that's a big deal. Jake Naso, again, had a 4 more face-offs advantage, 4 more face-offs, 1 advantage in game number 2. So Jake Naso's winning the dot, not by a lot, but when the game is so close, when he's got a 1-goal game, and then game 1, we got a 1-goal game until we don't, guys, that's when face-offs start to really matter. And guess what? Buffalo Bandits had 50 shots on goal in game 2. I said 50 or less, the Rush feel pretty good. Rush win game number 2. There you go. I'm telling you, folks, right now, the Rush, they have played, I played the first 2 games, they've played almost perfectly. If they could have scored in game 1, the fourth quarter, the Rush have won the series 2-0. Now, I will get to this tomorrow, but there are 2 players who I don't believe have scored at all. I lied. Josh Byrne did score. Guys, Josh Byrne on the Buffalo Bandits and Robert Church of the Rush have not scored much. Keep it in mind, because on tomorrow's show, we're going to get to that. Those 2 guys could be huge in Game 3 on Saturday. But yeah, we're tied up 1-1, and I'm excited because it means more NLL, which means next week, we're not only going to revisit a champion on Monday. Reminder that next Friday is when season 3 ends on this show. So there you go. This is crazy. All right, when we come back to this awesome show that you know is Daily Dive, everyone knows it's the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. We're going to talk about the chances for the Georgia Swarm in 2026. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for my take on, is Dhane Smith overrated? We'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're watching Daily Dive here on this beautiful, I think it's beautiful outside, I guess, Monday, May 19th, 2025. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis in Guyton, Georgia. It's 4:18 here on the East Coast. We are live on 12 on Sports via X and YouTube. Hey, if you want to get on the sports betting action, go to mybookie.ag, enter the promo code, all caps, no spaces, Daily Lax. That's Daily, L-A-X, all caps, no spaces, mybookie.ag for deposit bonus, and let them know that we sent you. College lacrosse is still going on. I believe Princeton got beaten. I've heard that was a big deal. So there you go. Alrighty. We're going to now get into this. Reminder, later on in the show, at the next segment, last segment really, I'm going to talk about Scott Loeffler saying that someone called Dhane Smith overrated. We'll get to that. Is there any merit to that accusation? Now, think about it. Oh, God. You know I love... People think that I love to piss people off, so that's going to be a fun last segment. All right. Georgia Swarm. God, they started so good this past year, right? Like I want to make sure I remember that correctly. They finished 9-9, obviously, and got bounced in round one. But Georgia, there it is. Started the season 4-0. They were 7-4 and finished 9-9. So to me, and by the way, I did give Lyle Thompson my MVP, and you can get mad at me all you want to, but in my opinion, it's like, hey, Lyle Thompson had 93 points, Shane Jackson had 75, Andrew Kidd had 74. Like, if you take away Lyle Thompson from this team, do you honestly think they're good at all? Because I don't. I don't whatsoever. Respect to the guys on that roster. You'd like to have Lyle Thompson, like, a little bit, right? Like, he does a lot for that team. And also gets back on defense at 11 calls, turnovers. He plays hard every possession, but, I mean, I guess everyone does. But, yeah, Lyle Thompson was my MVP. But here's the thing, folks. The Georgia Swarm have not been deep in the playoffs in a long time. The 2016 or 2017, they won a championship, and ever since then, just kind of stuck in neutral. I guess here's the thing about this that I think is interesting. I know Brett Dobson's older than Chris Origlieri, but once again, much like Origlieri, like that was his second year starting. Guys, Brett Dobson, this was his third year starting. It was his worst year in the NLL yet. But I'm going to be honest. I think Brett Dobson still has another step to take. Because I've seen it when he's on it, he's on fire. Like, he's one of the best goalies in the league. I know a lot of guys can say that when I'm on my A game, I'm like A+ out there. I'm like 1 of 1. I get that. But to me, Brett Dobson has still the level to get to where he's doing it every single night. And so, like, the best players in the world do it every game. They don't just do it, once every 2 or 3 games. Like, those guys are really good, but they're not great yet. And I think Brett Dobson even knows that. Again, 76.36% is not great. I know there was also some injuries to the Georgia Swarm's defenders this year, which kind of hurt the team. Also, as Kai the goalie said, and we're going to call a spade, guys, Jeremy Thompson, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they need a face-off guy, like kind of like a, I don't know if they need a dominant guy, but a guy who's serviceable. That'd help. Jeremy Thompson this season won 47.9% of his face-offs. Like, he used to be amazing, but the guy, he's had his day. And now it's time for someone else to have theirs. I don't know if you draft that guy. I don't know if you acquire that guy in a deal. All I know is that Jeremy Thompson might have been on his last legs. It might have been his last game that he played, from what I was kind of hearing. So, again, it was a possibility that it was. We wish Jeremy Thompson nothing but the best, no matter what he does. But there comes a time when the young man's league gets to, like, that's what happens. Guys, the great athletes take over, and the guys who are 35 and up, it's what happens. It's life. It's unfair, but it's what happens. So without being too more morbid, here's what I'm going to be honest with the Georgia Swarm. And I've said this since last year. I'm going to say it again this year even more. So I don't know what needs to change. There needs to be pretty big changes. Like, I don't – how many times are we going to be okay with this? Like, Georgia Swarm, again, the attendance is not as much as it used to be. There were times when they were getting better fan attendance, and I feel like when I'm there, the fans are rowdy. But it's like, if a team's not winning, or at least whenever they win, they fall flat back on their face, kind of stinks. And now, another big thing about this, it's actually kind of funny how this works. A lot of the great players on this team live up north, which makes it even more, like, just weird how this league works, but that's how it does work. So you're always traveling, even for a home game, that kind of matters. So it sucks, but I'll say it again, folks. I don't know what needs to happen. I don't want to say trade Lyle. I don't want to say fire Ed Cuomo. I don't know. That's not my decision to make. What I do know is that Georgia Swarm knows something needs to happen. Like, much like with not Jake Nason, much like with Derek Keenan saying, trust me one more time. He got rid of Mark Matthews. He got rid of some guys, brought in Frank Scigliano, drafted Jake Nason, acquired Brock Haley, acquired, got Austin Shanks. It's like, I don't know if Swarm just needs some more horses, but they need a GM, like John Arlotta, who's going to go in there and do what he has to. Like, who's going to make the uncomfortable changes. Again, is that getting rid of Lyle Thompson? Is that getting rid of Ed Cuomo? Is it getting 2 or 3 more horses? But how do you do that in the first place without giving up some things? It's interesting, and I'm not sure how much of the guys are free agents. I can actually get to that later on and maybe tweet it out. But it's like something has to change, because you can't keep running it back, and thinking, oh, this is fine. This is great. We're good here. Like the little dog in the GIF, or like if the house burns down behind him. We're good here. No, you're not. You either want to be good or you want to be great. I was seeing at my jobs, like, we all work day jobs here. It's like, you either want to work at McDonald's or you want to work hard and work where we do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's lazy. I'm not saying that these players are lazy. There's goodness and then there's greatness in sports, and that's just how it works, man. So again, I don't know what needs to change. I just know something needs to happen, and it can't be It can't be small. It has to be drastic. And I'm not going to be the one to even try to say what that is because I don't know. I can't put my finger on what it is. Do I think they have enough horses? Yeah, but again, I feel like they could use another one. And like I said, whoever you have to get rid of, well, that's up to the GM and coach and all them to decide. Hopefully they make it work. I think they will. But I haven't seen anything for the last 3 years of this show. We'll see how it goes after that. Alrighty. I know Buffalo fans are going to love me after this next segment, but I'm going to do it anyways. Scott Loeffler said that people need to, that some pundits have called Dave Smith overrated. So then I questioned, like, is there a mirror in front of me? I don't know. I'm going to try to break that down next and answer the question. Is Dave Smith overrated? Oh, boy.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
You need tickets to that next event? We've got them. That's right, tickets.12ozsports.com. Get you to any sporting event, concert, theater event that you can think of. And the promo code 12OZ or ROME gets you an additional discount. Don't feed the massive ticket corporate machine. Go to tickets.12ozsports.com and enjoy the show. America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You know what's really funny about this show is I welcome you back to Daily Dive, the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talks on the planet. It's like I have been through the ringer from like I know like the NLL is not as big as other sports, but like I've been through like as much clapbacks and I guess the word hate you can get. I've done it on this show just from simply speaking my mind. So I'm not going to be immune. The next topic is not going to faze me. But I know one fan base is not going to have a fun time with this. And it's ironic that this became a topic. But I'm a reminder to subscribe to the 12 on Sports YouTube channel and also get tickets for your favorite sports team, including the NLL, your favorite music artist, concert, etc. Tickets for less at 12onsports.com/tickets or go to 12ozsports.com. Click the tickets tab. Scott Loeffler, you did this, man. He didn't do it like officially, but this was not going to be a topic. Like it just wasn't. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to look up Scott Loeffler on the Twitterverse / the Elon threshold. On May 15th, which, to be fair now, and this did take a mind of its own, but May 15th is last Thursday. On Friday, by the way, I didn't want to talk about this because it was already too late, but so before Thursday's show, Scott Loeffler said this when Dane Smith was named Offensive Player of the Year. I'll never understand how some pundits say, this guy is overrated. Wow. He produces at an unmatched level year after year, along with being a great leader and teammates. Wow. I don't know who on earth is saying Dane Smith is overrated, and maybe I need to listen more to people. But there was also an exchange where it's just interesting. David Brock says, which I love David Brock for this, Lily, no one has ever said he's overrated other than maybe his bro Drake. Dane is the greatest NLL player of all time. Congrats, GOAT. First Line Lax says, if we're being honest, it's pundit not plural. Scott Loffer saying he needs to be careful what he says. I'm like, well, okay, well, hold on now. Now, we can take this the way, I mean, because I'm gonna have fun with this topic, but like, we can take this the way of like, he's not talking about me, but I don't know of any other media person in the space who people would have thought called Dhane Smith overrated besides me. Like, and I never did that, which is crazy. But I've got a history of calling out Dhane Smith, make no mistake. Because remember, like, was it before they won the championship, before they went on this three-peat run, I was one day, God bless me, on NLLstats.com, finding stuff out. Oh, interesting. I was like, Dhane Smith, has he ever won a championship? No, he was 0-3. He was 0-3 in championships. Like, what? I'm not going to be, like, crucified for saying that. I mean, I knew it came with the territory when I said that, but it was like, is that not, like, a fact? I had just never heard anybody say it, so I think I tweeted it out or something like that. Dhane Smith, to his credit, which I love that he did this because it only helped me more, and also it made fun of a situation that didn't need to be taken seriously. Dhane Smith says after he won his finals MVP and won the finals, he quoted me and tagged Curtis Dixon and Christian Del Bianco saying, hey, this guy knows his lacrosse, eh? Well, that was my first year watching. This is now my third year. So here's the deal. This year and recently, I went on a rant wondering how Dhane Smith is in consideration for MVP. I've told people this, and again, we're going to get to the overrated part of it, but I just want people to have the backstory here. After what Dhane Smith, like when he, I don't know, chirped me is the right word, when, called me out if he won his first finals, I believe that same year, I did call Dhane Smith my regular season MVP when no one else did. He won his first championship. Good for him. He's been awesome. The goal, not scoring goals, has been interesting because I've been vocal on this show. Secondary assists should not matter like people think they do, and goal scoring is more important than an assist. That's a fact. Because as great as your passing might be, the guy still has to finish. So goal scoring is obviously always going to trump assists. So when a guy has 32 goals this year, he broke his assist record by 1. Good for him. Excellent. Great job. Sure, I'm okay with him winning Offensive Player of the Year. But does Josh Byrne not exist? So again, my take this season, especially recently, has always been we're going to hold people to a high standard, hold them to that standard, and also realize the roster is stacked to heaven. That's not a controversial take. Their roster is better than most rosters in the league. And I don't know why that seems controversial, but sometimes it feels like people take it that way, but their roster is stacked. So on top of that, we're going to get to, is he overrated? Scott Loffer, I will never say, from my perspective, Dhane Smith is overrated because I think he's an all-time great, has the potential to be the greatest lacrosse player of all time, especially if he keeps on stacking up the chips and the points, like the rings and the points. I like that. Yes. Potential to be the greatest, I guess, non-goalie, like the greatest position lacrosse player ever. Good for Dhane. But can I also say that 32 goals is a bit weird? Like, you get on these comment sections like, well, Dhane got snubbed for MVP. What? Like, don't do that. There are people out there who I think would like to be taken seriously as journalists who say, how is it not Dhane Smith? I'm like, what are you talking about? No one thought it was Dhane Smith this year until they did. Like, I didn't hear Dhane Smith be called MVP until like the assist records started stacking up. Like, the guy, and I'm sorry, did not have an MVP type season. He broke his assist record. Guys, that is awesome. That is not what we're watching for here. Dhane, do you think, I'll say it again, take Jeff Teat off Ottawa, to a lesser extent, take Connor Fields off of Rochester, take Lau Thompson off of Georgia, take Wesley Berg off of San Diego, take Dhane Smith off of Buffalo. Well, just food for thought, little thought quiz, like little exercise here. Which of those teams is doing the best without their start? If you didn't say Bandits, you might be insane. There is absolutely a scenario when Dhane Smith or Josh Byrne is off of this team, and they're still pretty good. They may not be, three-peat good, but they're pretty good still. They're a playoff team, absolutely. So to say that as if it's just act like that's taboo to say is a little bit dishonest, and it's very dishonest, and everyone knows it. Again, I don't know who Scott Loeffler was talking about. So I just want to let people know that's my backstory to the Scott Loeffler thing, and I'm wondering who are they talking about. Maybe it's one of those scenarios where, like the Michael Jordan thing, like, you find stuff to get pissed off about. And good for Dhane. He's had a really good first 2 games, especially that first one. But again, we're not going to play the game of you can't criticize players when stuff is happening. Again, Dhane Smith was not the MVP this year. There's no reason to apologize for that. There is no reason to be scared of backlash. He was not the MVP this year. Everyone knows it. Buffalo fans deep down know they value if it matters as much as we think it does, because it's not the best player in the world. It's the most valuable player of the season. There's a difference. So, again, pick your fights here. Pick your battles. I think deep down we know Dhane Smith was not MVP. Not even deep down. It's right here, like pretty close to my skin. So I just gotta know who said it. And again, why are people scared to act like it's a thing? Like, Dhane Smith is still amazing. Dhane Smith could still be the GOAT. Dhane Smith had a really good year. Dhane Smith was not the MVP. Those all things can be true at once. Good for Dhane. He's an awesome player. Who knew? Like, good Lord. Again, this was not going to be a topic or a discussion point until Scott Loeffler, God bless him, made a discussion point. Again, that was not just calling out Scott Loeffler. It's making people realize these conversations are a little bit weird sometimes. Okay, like don't do that. Just like when Hutton Jackson quoted the tweet and said, people get on Twitter and say, "Oh, they called Steph Curry not the greatest shooter of all time." Like, no one did that. Come on, man. Don't create rage bait that's not there. And again, maybe more credit to Scott Loeffler in the end for getting the clicks and stuff like that. But I just wanted to touch on that because there are times, and again, to answer the question, I know this is going to sound bad in the end. There are times when I do think in the moments we make Dhane Smith or anybody overrated. Yes, I do believe that. Right now, I believe Frank Scigliano is overrated because he's had a really good finals, but don't act like the defense is not great. Don't act like he was the best goaltender all year. So if we're going to try to push Dhane Smith into the MVP conversation, he's overrated at this moment in time. But is he overrated? No. But right now, are fans leaning that way? Yeah, because he's not the MVP. Like, I don't feel like that's controversial, but but fans have a mind of their own. Not just Buffalo fans, but fans in general. Lacrosse fans really have a mind of their own. It's weird. All right. As great as you like that topic, be sure to support us by getting our merch at Daily Dive LAX and clicking the link tree in our bios or dailydivelx.creator-spring.com, which I timed up pretty perfectly once again. Do I say so myself? Tomorrow I'll break down the all NLL teams, and we'll also talk about who the finals MVP is so far. I'll probably do a top 3 for each team because we are tied 1-1. And of course, like a top 3 in general. So we'll do that tomorrow. Also, Fresh Fits is winding down for this season. The fans have already voted between Taylor Jensen and Reed Bowering. The Joseph Terrence and Dhane Smith debate is still going on. So vote for the Fresh Fits winner to see who gets the championship. Again, on Daily Dive LAX on social media. That, of course, is Instagram or X/Twitter. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's show. Hope you had a great one. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. This has been a presentation of Total On Sports and Daily Dive. Bye.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.